Live. The daily vlogs and the daily podcast is now live. Couple things I got to do, couple things I got to get set up, make sure everything's working. Don't want to use that. Don't want to use that on our guest that we have coming in. Got to make sure everything's up and running. Got to make sure everything is up and working for today's live. Always got to change it to public. I don't know why, for some reason, Facebook always never has it to public, but I always got to set it to public. Edit live video. All right. There we have it. Now I'm going to go on my phone like I always do, and I'm going to make sure it's turned off. I'm going to share the link with everyone that wants and will watch it. And I'm also going to tag her. My guest is Dani Apple from the Fox TV hit show. I almost said The Cleaning Lady. I Can See Her Voice, hosted by Ken Jeong. I've been doing so much Cleaning Lady that I'm forgetting it's not The Cleaning Lady. So what I told her I'm going to jump on just a little bit early. Jump on just to make sure everything is working. I haven't done this in a while. Got new merchandise. If you guys look up on the top, it's my left. New merchandise. This is the Daily Podcast shirt. Tell it goodbye from since baseball season has started. You guys can go ahead and purchase yours right there, right in front of you. The Daily Vlogs podcast.myspreadshop.com. You guys can link or check out the link right there. Check it out. People, some of you already bought. There's somebody there that bought a whole bunch of t-shirts. They bought 20 t-shirts, 5 smalls, 5 mediums, 5 large, 5 extra large. Don't know who it is. It doesn't tell me who the people are that buys it, but I want to thank you for buying it. Is it going to be a sports league? Is it going to be a, I don't know, but thank you. Thank you for buying it. Thank you for purchasing the whatever, the shirts. I'm texting everybody, sending everybody the link. Everybody's always asking me, send me the link, please, so I can watch your show. I'm sending them the link. You guys are not going to be left out. Don't worry. We have a different type of guest today. Not an actress, but a singer. Maybe we can get her to serenade and sing for us. Maybe. See how she feels. If she feels like she would want to, then we're going to encourage her to do a little song for us. Encourage her to do a little something. We shall see. All right. I think I shared it to the people that I wanted to share with. I'm available on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. So if you guys want to watch it, definitely jump on. I think that's it. People from the Philippines would like to watch too, so I'm going to send it to them. I think that is it. Now we're just waiting for 6 o'clock to jump on. I was going to try to show you guys. Her video from the TV show, I Can See Her Voice. But I'll show you what happens. When I tried it, this is what happens. So I can share the video from the local. And then once I have it, it shows up on my side of the screen. So if you guys do restream, you guys know I have it on the side of the screen, but all you see is a blank screen. So let me show you guys what you see. See? So I decided not to do it. I decided not to share it just because it could be copyrighted, and that's probably the reason why. So I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in any trouble with Facebook. I'm already on thin ice with Facebook, so don't want to do any of that. So I'm just sharing the link. All you guys who are watching, thank you for jumping on. I know it's a Wednesday here, and our guest Dani's she's coming in from New York, so she's a little on the East Coast side over there. So I got to make sure that we're doing this correct for her. And I told her it's going to be short and sweet. We're going to talk to her about her singing career. We're going to do all that. So we're waiting for her. How's everybody's week been? How's everybody been doing? I know everybody's been crazy. All my cleaning lady guests that we've been doing the cleaning lady on. I know you guys are excited. Episode 2 is coming out, or season 2 is coming out. Can't wait for that. We're going to try to do the best we can to dive in and get more cleaning lady type guests, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes moving forward, but this is going to be special. This is different. We got Dani Apple, again, from the Fox TV hit show, I Can See Your Voice. If you guys haven't seen that show, it's on Fox. I'm not sure what time it is in your neck of the woods, but here in the Bay Area, it's on at 8:00. And it's a TV show, and they have 6 contestants. I'm going to explain it to you guys now. 6 contestants, and out of the 6, maybe all 6 can sing. Maybe none of the 6 can sing. But the contestant, or I guess she's a contestant. The contestant has to pick the right one and has to knock off the bad singers. So if someone's there and someone's not a good singer, they have to knock off the bad singers. And at the end of the show, there's a professional singer, let's just, I don't know, Paul McCartney. I'm just throwing that name out. Paul McCartney's the guest singer, and the person who supposedly can or cannot sing is going to sing a duet with Sir Paul McCartney. And if it's a good singer and the contestant decides to lay it all out, she can win, or he can win $100,000. If not, they get one of the sad trombones kind of thing. So it's a good show. It's a funny show. It's one of those things where what else can you do? The Masked Singer, the all those things is, it's funny. It's funny. And I only watch it because I want to see the bad singers sing with the good professional singers. So that's the only reason why I watch it. But it's funny. It's a good show. It's a good thing to watch. But how's everybody doing? Go ahead and throw me chats out here. I know there's a few of you guys who are just driving home from work. Throw me chats. Throw me messages. Again, if you guys are going to ask Dani some messages, any message, it's going to be relevant to her career. It's going to be relevant to what she's doing. It's going to be relevant to her career. Nothing personal. So, we're going to do that same thing like we always do. Nothing personal. So you guys have to ask her the right questions. If you guys aren't going to ask her the right questions, we are not going to share your questions on screen. So let's go ahead and ask the right questions. That will definitely be cool. So we're just waiting. Told her 6:00 our time. You guys can listen. If you guys want to listen. No, I'm going to save it. You guys can get a cup just like this. Again, I share the link with you guys. I'll share it again. Right there. The Daily Vlogs podcast.myspreadshop.com. I want to thank everyone who jumps on there and who purchased. Coworker Pat, who purchased herself a bag and a magnet. Thank you, Pat, for doing that. And again, the stranger who bought 20 shirts. And if you see the logo right there, the Daily Podcast with Eric B. It's called The Stick. Tell it goodbye. So Candlestick Park closed in 1999 and moved everything over. The 49ers moved over to Levi's, and the Giants moved down to, back then was called Pac Bell Park, but now it's called Oracle Park. So Tell It Goodbye was the theme for the last basketball or baseball game at Candlestick Park. For the 49ers, it was Forever Stick. There's a shirt going around called Forever Stick. So this one was a Tell It Goodbye. This one I made shirts, I made hats, I made aprons. So if you guys are interested, the Daily Vlogs podcast.myspreadshop.com, go ahead and check out that down there. I'm wearing the same thing, the shirt right here. This was just a different shirt. This one just has a shirt, the silhouette of the city. So if I show you guys what this looks like right here, this looks, I don't think I have the silhouette of the city here. I don't. It looks like this. So that's what it looks like. This is what the shirt looks like with the mic, with the city, the silhouette of the city, just a different type shirt. This is the baseball t-shirt. So if you guys want to do that, I also have this right here, the Daily Podcast with Eric B. This is called We Built This City. And for you 49er fans, the Daily Vlogs, Eric B's Daily Vlogs, The Catch, number 87, tribute to Dwight Clark. This one's called Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, the Daily Podcast with Eric B, with a nice golden silhouette. This one right here is what everybody likes. This is the Golden Sunset Eric B's Daily Vlogs right there with the silhouette of the city. So this is the shirt that I'm wearing right now with the silhouette of the city. But this is the newest one. So if you guys are interested in buying, again, the Daily Vlogs podcast.myspreadshop.com. We're waiting for 6 o'clock for Miss Dani Apple to jump on. Getting ready to do all that with Miss Dani Apple. And we've been talking back and forth this whole week. She's a very, very cool, humble person. I was just looking at her resume right now. Her voice is a soprano belt. Eyes are green, 5'3", brown hair. If you guys are interested in looking her up, she's not on yet, but you can find her at DaniApple.net. And yes, her last name is Apple. I'm going to ask her about that. DaniApple.net. But she's done a few. Again, TV, I can see her voice. She was the waitress. She's done a few concerts as well. Town Hall, New City Music Theater, Lincoln Center, Boston Symphony Hall. That's pretty big stuff right there. She plays the ukulele. She can play basic piano and guitar. Man, hopefully she has a ukulele with her. We're going to ask her. I'm not going to put her on the spot, but we're going to ask her. I want to thank you guys who are watching on Facebook, you guys who just jumped on YouTube. Thank you for jumping on. We're waiting for the 6 o'clock hour. We're going to wait for Dani to jump on. We're going to do her right. I got something queued up for her, but as you know, we always do, I'm going to wait for her to jump on before I do my intro. That way I don't have a big intro to edit. Usually when I'm editing my sound, it's kind of a pain. This Restream app, man, I'm loving this Restream app. I've used it for the past 3 interviews. I've been using it for live streams. This is not sponsored by Restream, but Restream, if you guys want to sponsor me, definitely let me know. I'll definitely throw you guys shout outs for that. But this is a cool app to use. It's not even an app. It's just a site. You go on their site. It's restream.io, and I paid for the middle platform. It's not the most expensive platform, just so I can put in, my logo right up there, get rid of their Restream logo. I'm shooting in 1080p. So that's the most important thing, is shooting in 1080p. And just reminded myself, am I shooting in 1080p? Yes, I am shooting in 1080p, because sometimes it goes down to 720. 720 is cool if you're watching on an iPhone. Also got to make sure that my Rodecaster is connected. The last time I did a live stream with Ike, who is from The Batman, I didn't have it on. I didn't have this mic on. I had the mic on, but I didn't have the regular mic on. All right. It is 8:59. You guys heard that sound. That means she's in the waiting room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record two different things. We're going to record right here, and we're going to do the whole intro. We're going to do the intro with her in the background, and we're going to introduce her right. So, all right, another episode of the Daily Podcast and the Daily Vlogs with me, Eric B. I got a special guest waiting in the waiting room. She stayed up past 9 o'clock in the East Coast just to be on with me. So let's go ahead and let's get this started on the other side of the break. So let's get this started. Welcome, everyone. It's the Daily Podcast and the Daily Vlogs, and I am your host, Eric B. We have a special guest with us today. Again, I told you guys earlier, from the Fox TV hit show, and no, it's not the cleaning lady. Not that. It's from I Can See Her Voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little song that she sang.
Guys, this is a really hard song to sing.
The show. You guys can hear her voice. And while she sings, I'm going to bring her in. Let's go ahead and introduce Miss Dani Apple.
Hello.
Here.
Hi.
Miss Dani Apple, how are you? Thank you for jumping on. Let's go ahead and give Dani Apple a round of applause for being on the show with us here. I know it's late. I know you're in New York. I know all that, but thank you for jumping on. Thank you for being on the show.
Of course. I'm a night owl. This is a great time for me.
Perfect. Yeah, it's I don't know. Today was a long day for me. I just came from the dentist. TMI for you guys who are out there. And I was like, are you guys going to be done by 6? I got here at 2. It's 5 o'clock. Am I going to be out of here by 6 o'clock? Come on. I got a show to do. No, but we're here. We're doing it. Dani, do me a favor. Go ahead and introduce yourself so everyone who's watching can know who Dani Apple is.
Hello, I'm Dani Apple, and I do live in the Big Apple, New York City.
New York. And I'm looking at your resume, Dani. You grew up in Cleveland?
I did. I'm from a suburb of Cleveland. I'm from Solon, Ohio.
Okay. And again, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for jumping on the show. And let's go ahead and let's get to know Dani, Miss Apple. What got you into singing?
I think it was more like I was singing before I was talking. I just was always into singing, and singing got me into everything else that I did in my life. I think my parents used to tell me that I was up, on the fireplace. I would make that my stage, and I would hold a hairbrush, and I would stand on the fireplace and have full concerts for my family.
Nice.
Especially when they didn't want it, especially when they wanted peace and quiet. That's when the concerts were played, and I would just sing all the time. And so my mom was like, okay, we got to do something about this. This energy is too much. We need to let her express this elsewhere. So she signed me up for one of those little, preschool theater groups.
Okay.
And I did a little show there, and I just fell in love. And from then on, it was just show to show to show. Because one of the teachers of that preschool group was music directing a regional theater show, Sound of Music. And she put in my name to be Gretel, because they needed a young girl to be Gretel. So that was my first big show. And from there, I just loved it so much that I just kept doing a show at all times, and I just really haven't stopped.
Mom needs to put that video out on YouTube so we can see and hear what Gretel sounded like played by Dani Apple. You're addicted to singing. And the cool thing about you, I was watching some of your videos, not just from what you did with I Can See Your Voice, but everything else. You just have this different voice that to me is Broadway like almost.
Yeah.
Is that your goal?
I do. I try to sing in all different styles, of course, whatever the work calls for, but that is my main goal, my main dream is to be on Broadway. My college degree is in musical theater.
Nice.
So that's my main performance type is, theater and acting and singing.
Nice. If you had to pick a genre, I mean, if you had to say, you know what, I'm not going to do Broadway, I want to make records. What genre would that be if you had to release an album?
Yeah, I would say probably pop then.
Okay.
Something in a Sarah Bareilles type vein.
I can see that. It's funny. I was listening to one of your songs, on YouTube, and I was like, this kind of has that like Sarah McLachlan vibe. That the way you were singing it, I was just like, wow, this. Why aren't you on the radio? I need you. We need Dani Apple to be on the radio.
Thank you. That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you're on the right spot, and for you to be on a mainstream like that TV show, I can see your voice. Um, that was cool. And the only reason why I liked your part there was you were dressed as the waitress, and I
Mhm.
explained to everybody before you jumped on what the show was about and what the show entails. And when you jumped on there, I was like, she can sing. I can tell already she can sing. She just has this honest look like you can sing. And the poor contestant who was like, no, she can't sing. I was like, this girl can sing. I'm almost sure she can sing. How was your experience on that show?
It was wild. I mean, also it was especially, no one knows this, but we filmed it almost a year ago. Actually, about exactly a year ago.
Oh
So it was
wow.
right in the height of COVID. So we're talking like I was cooped up in my parents' house in Ohio for 6 months, almost a year, no communication with anyone outside of the
Wow.
people I was living with. It was like COVID. The
Yeah.
vaccines were just starting to come out. So it was like everyone was in quarantine. I hadn't performed in almost a year. I was so starving to be able to sing again, for an audience live, in a room. So it was truly wild because not only was it my first opportunity to perform in so long after a pandemic when I didn't know if I was going to get the opportunity to sing again, but it was to that degree, to that scale, right? That was one of the most exciting and biggest deals of a performance I had ever had. So
Yeah.
to go from 0 to 100 in that moment was quite unbelievable. I just missed performing so much that I would have done a show just for my family or just for friends. I just was killing to get on a stage, even a small stage, like a small venue in New York. That would have been the dream at that time. And so to go from dreaming of just singing again, even if it was for 10 people, to singing for these celebrities that I've been looking up to my entire life, with Ken Jeong right there,
Yeah.
who I admire so much, just how crazy. It was just so surreal. I
How
loved
hard was that for you not to say anything for 6 months? I mean, you knew it was coming out, and I'm pretty sure they told you can't tell anybody, the outcome of the show. How hard was that for you not for
it. Yeah,
keeping your mouth shut? Yeah.
keeping secrets, that was the hardest part. I mean, I just did this crazy thing and I wanted to tell everyone and I wanted to be like, this is what happened and this is who was in the panel and Carol Baskin and I wanted to just share all of the crazy things, but I had to not say anything because that was the rule. And then it made it that much sweeter when
Yeah.
everyone got to watch it. Like I did a little watch party with some of my best friends and we watched it together and I didn't tell them, the details. They didn't know what was going to happen. So when it was announced that it was Candy Burris and Vanessa Lachey and that the golden mic was Carol Baskin, that was just really funny. And just like all the details of what happened and when I got eliminated and how it went down and all those, just watching their faces of shock every time something happened was so cool just to see. It was
How was
very
your, that's nice that you brought that up. How was your friend's reaction when the contestant said she can't sing? Did they just like throw things at the TV like, oh my god, come on, really?
I don't know. I think we were just kind of laughing. I think we were laughing too at like when the judges were saying like nice things like, oh, but that's confident walking. She must be a good singer. And my friends were like, that doesn't mean she can sing. Even though they knew I could, they were like, that's not true. Like they were just being really funny. And my other friend was like, what's up with the costumes? I don't understand that. Like, it's just their funny reactions were really, really, really funny to watch.
Were you ever a waitress? Or did you get to pick your costume, or were you ever a waitress? Is that the reason why you chose the waitress?
Yeah, so they actually put you in the costume of whatever your day job is
Okay.
besides singing. So for me, I actually have, New York City actors. We do a lot of different things to pay
Yeah.
the bills and make ends meet. So I do a lot of things. Right now, I'm really big into bar mitzvah tutoring and I teach Hebrew school.
Nice.
And I told them that and they were like, we don't have a costume for bar mitzvah tutor. I said, okay, that's fair. But something else that I do is I wait tables. And one of the restaurants I wait tables at is a singing server restaurant. It's one of those where we give the food and sing.
Wow. Okay.
So they said that's perfect, singing waitress. Like, and they thought of the idea because there is a musical waitress written by Sarah Bareilles. So they said that's just perfect. We'll dress you up like you're in that musical. You'll sing a song from that musical for the lip sync. They really played into that because it was such a perfect, like, just easy aesthetically pleasing thing to do. So it
Nice.
worked.
Was that
Yeah.
your first time on national TV? Was that your first time on a big TV screen?
Pretty much. In the pandemic, this is really silly, but about almost 2 years ago now, the time is flying by. But early pandemic, I would sing around the house. I went back to Ohio to be with my parents, like
Yes.
all New Yorkers did. And I would sing around the house, and their dog, they have a little Shih Tzu dog, and he would start howling with me whenever I would sing. He wanted to sing along. So we became duet partners because he was the
Nice.
only duet partner I could find, and we would sing together. And I posted a video of us singing a duet, and it went viral. You know, in times of COVID, everything is
Of
up
course.
for grabs to go viral. So we were on national news together, me and
Okay. Nice.
him, for that. So this was my first time being on national TV without my dog being famous.
Being
This was
famous.
known without my dog. Yes.
I'm looking at your resume here. Again, if you guys want to look at Dani Apple, her website right here, daniapple.net. Her resume is on here as well. Impressive resume. You play the ukulele? Do you play that?
I
Play that?
I
Do you play that
do.
one? Yeah.
I haven't time, but I did a lot in college. I was always ukuleleing around.
Nice. What's your favorite song to play on the ukulele?
I actually never. I mean, I played like a Lady Gaga song a lot, but I mostly in college I did a songwriting class for fun, just to kind of flex different muscles, and it really helped with my music theory and with just being able to arrange songs and cut my own audition cuts, and it helped a lot with theater. Those skills are really good for me. But I took a songwriting class and I wrote a lot of little ditties on it. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so that was really fun. Just an extra
Nice.
fun
Nice.
thing.
Yeah, you have a lot of good. I mean, I'm looking at your stuff, your resume here, and just everything you've done. You know, you've sang at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You rolling into the Rock. Uh, that's some cool stuff. What's your most favorite besides I can see your voice? What's your most favorite experience that you had singing wise right now?
Oh, wow, that's such a good question because there have been so many different ones. I think it totally depends because I've had, theatrical experiences where I was singing as a character, and then, different opportunities where I've sung with orchestras or in concerts. But I think, yeah, would you like to know like my favorite theatrical experience and a
Sure.
favorite singing experience?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think it's hard for me to like pick my favorite roles I've ever played because I'm always obsessed with the one I'm currently working on because I delved so much into that show that it's my new obsession. But right out of college, my first like big role regionally was and it was a newer musical at the time, so that made it even cooler. But I did the show Freaky Friday,
Okay.
the movie with Lindsay Lohan. It's
Yeah.
also a musical now. They wrote it into a musical. And so we were the second people to do it. They had one other cast before us, and then we were the second people to ever do it. And I got to play the Lindsay Lohan part, which meant I was
Wow.
the daughter and the mom. So that was so cool because I was playing two roles essentially, and two very different roles who fought a lot and hated each other. So to get
Yeah.
in both of their shoes was wild. And that was also like right out of college. So it was my first big show to, as an adult, as a professional in this career, to really delve in was the coolest. I mean, and it's a really hilarious show, and I love comedy too. So, and I loved the songs that I sang. So vocally, that was a really, really cool thing to do. And then in New York, I try to frequent, all of the, I know you're not in New York, but, the 54 Below, Green Room 42, I love to just make my way through the circuits as much as possible, just
Nice.
to, get my voice out there and be performing live. And I did, right before the pandemic, I did one concert that was really special to me at 54, or sorry, it was at Green Room 42, but it was a Frank Sinatra concert. And I sang the song From Here to Eternity
Yes.
in the style of him. And it was really cool because there was a huge band behind me, like almost a 20-person orchestra just backing me up. So just, it was the coolest, live concert kind of thing because it was my last big one before the pandemic. So that memory carried with me for months after when I was itching to be back on a stage again
Yeah.
and just the room full of people. Like I knew it was going to be a while before I'd sing in a room full of people like that again. So that was really, really cool. And I got nominated for an award for that performance. So that's
Wow.
why it's very special to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nominated. That's a big thing. That's cool. Congratulations for that. Um,
Yeah. Thank you. It was BroadwayWorld.com. It's their cabaret awards. They always do them every year. So that was the 2021.
nice. Nice. Pandemic is somewhat over. So are you getting
Yeah,
more
thank God.
are you there like Broadway trying to get your voice heard again, trying to get out there to do more things?
Yes, definitely. I'm back in the swing of auditions and pounding that pavement and doing everything I can to just kind of be heard as much as possible to, spring into the next opportunity.
I've been interviewing a lot of actors and actresses from TV shows, and singers and actresses are almost the same when it comes to trying to be found, trying to be heard. Um, Singers, you guys can go from Broadway to TV show. If there's a TV show like Glee, and they're looking for people who can sing and act, that's the good thing about what you can do as a singer, because you can do both. If you can act and you can sing, you can have two different things, on your resume right there. Are you into something like if Glee did a reboot? Would you be willing to be like, hey, let me jump on this?
Oh, that would be my dream job. I always say Glee was produced too early. It should have been when I was that age because I was slightly too young to be in it. But oh man, that would have been so perfect. It's funny because on my episode of I Can See Your Voice, something they said about me when they thought I was a bad singer was they said she might just be an actress but not a singer. Like she can
Okay.
act but not sing. And all my friends were like, "Why can't she do both? Why can't we be both?" So that's what was really, really funny was they thought I was one but not the other when it is both. And even in musical theater, it's even one up. It's being a triple threat, acting, singing, and dancing. So
Yeah.
nowadays, people can also do gymnastics and all these
Yeah.
crazy. So the more, the better.
I mean, with everybody doing reboots now, anyways, I mean, I don't see why they won't do a reboot of Glee. Just reboot Glee, or not even reboot, like Glee 2022. And have
I
you
think
just
it would have the following.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would. It would. I mean, just TV movies like Pitch Perfect. It's like you watch Pitch Perfect and you watch a movie like that where you have these actors who can sing, but they're acting, but they're singing. But if you can actually get a singer who can act and be in a movie like Pitch Perfect, or even like a TV or a movie like Glee, I think that'll be perfect, right?
That would be my biggest dream of all. We got to
Yeah,
make it happen. We'll
there you
manifest
go. Well, I'll make the calls after we get off here. We'll see. We'll see who we have to bribe to get the Glee back on TV. Um,
it.
have you ever sang a national anthem for anybody?
I have a couple times. I did with the cast of a show I was in. We sang it at a Cavs game once. That was very cool because the Cavs are
Nice.
awesome. That's our home team. I'm not into sports, but that's the one thing that I think is cool. People tell me, people who know sports say that's cool. But that was cool. And then also I've sung it at my high school stadiums. I've sung it, locally in my hometown here and there. But I would love to do that on a wider scale for sure. I love singing the national anthem.
Well, you being in New York, you have 3 football teams, you have 2 basketball teams, and you have 2 baseball teams. So the opportunity is endless for you there. You definitely can jump on any of these events and say, "Hey, you know what? I need to sing for the Knicks, the Nets, the Mets, the Yankees." Um,
Wow,
Again,
I'm becoming educated now. This is
yes,
good. I'm learning
yes.
so much about all the
Yes,
teams.
don't be surprised if tomorrow someone's like, we need someone to sing the national anthem for Saturday's game for the Mets."
That would be awesome. I'm ready.
Yes, yes. You growing up in Cleveland, and moving to New York, and Cleveland, Ohio is not as big as it is in New York. How much of a culture shock was that for you when you had to leave Cleveland to go to New York?
So I actually strategically made it easier for myself. What I did was I went to college in Boston,
Okay.
and Boston was the perfect stepping stone because New York would have been a culture shock to go from a suburb in Ohio to the biggest city in the country. So Boston was so perfect for me at the time because it was bigger and more city-like than Ohio, but it wasn't as crazy as New York. So I got to have that boost of city life and get to feel for what that might be like, meet new people, arts and culture being a little bit more vibrant there than it was in my hometown, and just kind of getting immersed in all of that. And then by the time the 4 years were up, when I was done with college, it was time to come to New York, and I was ready. I said, okay. I did the city of Boston. I even did some shows not through my school. I tried doing shows professionally there, singing at venues just in the city itself, really soaking in as much of Boston as I could, because that was a really cool city.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then by the time the 4 years were up, I said, okay, I'm ready. I can do New York now. I'm ready for that change. So it was
Nice.
only two small changes instead of one really big one.
Nice. That's a pretty smart deal. I mean, that's something, a lot of people don't do. Usually like me, singers and actors, they'll just like, I'm going to New York. I want to be a Broadway singer who's from a small town. Don't realize how crazy New York is. And,
Yeah.
that's how you hear like the downfall of a lot of singers and actors is they go from a small city to a big city right away. And they're like, I can't do it,
Like,
you know?
whoa,
Yeah.
subways, what? Yeah. Rats in the
Yeah.
apartment, what?
What's going on here? How's it for you in New York? I mean, what's the mileage or how far is Cleveland to New York? My geographic settings is not the best at the moment.
I am bad with mileage, but it's about an 8 hour car ride and an hour and a half flight. So it's
Okay.
actually really easy to go home if I need to.
It's not that bad. That's like from San Francisco to LA. So it's an 8 hour drive and an hour flight. So that's not bad. So if you want to go home, you can just go home and just relax and be back with mom and dad.
Yeah, and luckily too, my parents love it here because, it's New York, and my mom loves, she would move here. I think my dad wouldn't. So I think
Oh,
that's probably what's keeping them there. But my mom comes to the city a couple times a year. Just she's in the fashion industry, so she comes for
nice.
that. So I see, they come here and visit me, and I'm able to go there. So between both of those, I do see my family a lot, which I'm very fortunate
Let's see.
for.
You have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who you sing the national anthem for, and then the Indians just changed their names to the Commanders. I believe it's the
The
Cleveland
Guardians, the Cleveland
Guardians. Thank you,
Guardians.
thank you, Cleveland Guardians. So there's a couple of other opportunities there for you to sing the national anthem.
Yeah, we'll get it going. This is good.
Yeah, we will. Even if you came out to San Francisco and sang for any of the local teams out here, that'd be cool to have. There's a few times that I went to baseball games out here, and we have someone singing the national anthem who's like from Atlanta, and I'm like, why is she singing the national anthem? She's from Atlanta. Why can't we get a local artist out here? That's just me thinking, like why kind of thing. But I understand if you're a musician and they ask you to come out and sing. I'm pretty sure you would come out and sing wherever they say, come sing the national anthem in San Francisco
Oh, absolutely.
for the
Yeah.
Warriors.
I've
Yeah.
never been to San Francisco, so I gotta come see it.
There you go. There's a lot of, I don't know if the theater opened up yet. I'm pretty sure they have. I know Hamilton um, closed down during COVID, but I don't know like I'm trying to think. I'll look at that up then and later on. But there's a lot of cool theaters out here that we can you can watch. If you
Yeah.
had to pick a Broadway hit, which one would you want to do?
I know. The thing is, there's so many. I would
Yeah.
truly do so many different shows. I mean, Wicked is one of my favorite shows of all time, and that seems to be produced everywhere, and it's not going anywhere. Waitress, like the costume they put me in, obviously. I would love to be in that. That would be a great fit. But I also, my one of my biggest dreams is to originate a new role. I'd love to jump into a show that's already been up and running, but how cool would it also be to start a show from scratch, when they're writing a character? And if I'm one of the people that is in the original cast, they would be writing it around me and
Yeah.
around my strengths and vocal abilities, and just to be in the room when decisions are being made and to see a story come to life from its like roots would be so cool. So maybe there'll be a new musical one day that will be the next Wicked.
There you
That
go.
Yeah, that would be.
Is there a Glee musical?
I don't believe so, but that would
There
be fun. I do
we go.
think people would like that.
Thinking out the box here. We can get the people like, hey, let's get Dani Apple and let's get her part of the Glee musical. Um,
Love the brainstorming happening
there's a
here.
lot, there's a
This
lot
is
here.
good.
Do what I can. Just remember me when you make it big out there. Remember,
Uh-huh.
Eric's the one that got her on the Glee musical. No, it's not. Danny's doing all the work. It's Danny's voice. Apple, is that your real last name or is that a stage name?
It is my real last name, which is so funny because it's perfect, and I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
keep it no matter what.
Yeah. I sent for everyone who was watching. I sent the flyer out, and I told you I was going to show it to you before I shared on social media. And right next to your name, I put a little apple. So it kind of worked with both the New York, because it was the New York skyline and your last name Apple, and I was like, let me throw a little apple here just to make it look like we're talking about Danny Apple.
Yes, so cute. I love it. If you go on my website too, there's a lot of apples there too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot of apples. It's everything apples. Again, if you guys want to go check out her website, it's dannyapple.net. See it right there below. What's your next big thing, or what's going on? What do you have plans moving forward?
Yeah, so that's what's crazy is because I just finished a show. So that's, the crazy uphill, downhill climbs of an actor is like you can have so many things going for you at one point. You can have so many projects you're working on, and then all of a sudden it's back to zero, back to blank, going pounding the pavement again. So I just closed a show a few weeks ago, which was a really, really special experience. But now I'm back to auditioning for that next step. So
Can you tell
that's
us the show, or is it a secret?
no, it's already over, so I can
Oh,
absolutely talk
yeah.
about it.
What's the
It
show?
was a show off Broadway. It was called The Baker's Wife.
Okay,
It's Stephen Schwartz musical. It's one of his lesser known musicals. And Joseph Stein wrote the book, and he wrote Fiddler on the Roof. So maybe that's
nice.
someone you'd recognize. But yeah, The Baker's Wife. It's a very beautiful, intimate musical, and I did it in the Times Square area last month, and I was in the ensemble and I understudied the lead. And people don't know the show, but a lot of people know the song Meadowlark. I
Okay,
don't know if you've heard of it. That's like the song that kind of got famous from the show. It's a beautiful song. So I understudied the role that sings Meadowlark. So that was very cool. It's one
nice.
of my favorite songs ever. And actually, Stephen Schwartz, who wrote the musical, worked with our cast. He came to our rehearsals to kind of shape the show, and we made some edits. So it's a new version of the show. The show is never done, right? So we
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
working
yeah.
on dialogue, and songs were cut, songs were added, things were, always moving, always shaking. So it was really, really, really cool to be with the composer himself, who is, always still working on the show.
Nice. And again, I want to thank you for jumping on, and thank you. I know it's laid out there, and thank you for taking the time to share your story. Um, your voice is just something different. Now, when I heard your voice on, I can see your voice. I jumped on YouTube. I looked you up right away, because they don't tell us your name till after, so we can't really look you up to see if you can sing, because that's cheating, right? But I looked you up and I was like, oh, she has a lot of good. Again, look her up on YouTube, guys. If you guys are watching her on YouTube, or go on her website, you can see all the videos on there. But there's a lot of cool songs on here. A lot of cool. Your voice is just a different type of voice, and I'm more the R&B type listener when I'm listening to music, but there's something about your voice that I can just fall asleep listening to, just because it's so soothing when it comes
Thank
to
you.
singing. Your song from I Can See Your Voice, what song was that?
That was Never Enough. It's in The Greatest Showman. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I did.
But yeah, it's that big song that is sung by that famous opera singer in the movie. It's just such a gorgeous song. And what's ironic is like every girl in theater ever has sung that song. It's very, it's the song. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful song. But I've never tried singing it ever because it was so, I don't want to say overdone because it's rightfully done because it's so beautiful, but
Yeah.
everyone sings it. So I didn't want to just like be, singing this song that everyone always sings because it's just so cliche.
Yeah.
So I never even tried singing it. So when they said, they assigned me my song, I didn't get to choose,
Oh
but
wow. Okay.
that's what they chose for me. And I was like, of course, like it's time. I know I need to join forces with every singer girl in the world and just sing this song finally. And it was gorgeous and I love it. So I hope to sing it a lot more in the future.
Are you allowed to talk about your experience on I Can See Your Voice?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can ask any question. And if there's something that I wouldn't be allowed, then I'll just say it then.
Did you already know who could and couldn't sing? Like, there's a few that couldn't sing. Did you already know who could and who couldn't sing?
So that's what's wild is we were not allowed to know anything.
Oh wow.
So I was shocked by that. I didn't think it mattered if I knew someone could or couldn't. I wasn't the one guessing, but
Yeah.
they didn't want us to make any faces that would give something away. Like if I knew the person next to me could sing and I like give a face, could give something away. So they didn't want any of us to know. So they locked us away. That sounds dramatic, but we all had our own dressing rooms backstage, and we all had wranglers that followed us from the dressing room to the stage. So we were like, the only person I ever saw was my wrangler. Like, I was not allowed to interact with the other singers backstage at all. I was shut away in my own personal dressing room. I was so lonely. I wanted a friend so bad. Whenever my wrangler came in, I was like, hang out with me, like, let's play a game. And she's like, I'm busy, I have to like, do stuff. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was wild, but we were not allowed to know anything. So I was finding everything out live as the show was being filmed, just like everyone else was. And what's funny is, like, I was playing my own game, right? I was trying to figure it out myself. And the things that gave it away to me as a singer, I could tell who in the rehearsal breaks was drinking water and drinking tea and like having honey and lemon, and who forgot to even bring a water bottle to the show. Like, those were the dead giveaways for me. But some I couldn't tell. Some was tricky for me.
So if I
that
was there and I was drinking a Coke, you already would have known that I wasn't a singer because I'm drinking a Coke, right?
No, I'm saying one of them had said, like, in the group, she walked in and she had said, I overheard her say that she got the vaccine that morning, and which was, so exciting because they were just being invented. And I remember thinking, that's not a singer, because a singer would know that there would be side effects and that it would hurt the voice. They wouldn't do it that morning. They would have done it the next day.
Yeah.
And that's how I do.
So,
Yeah.
how was your experience with Ken Jeong?
He was so nice. Because of COVID, we weren't allowed to hang with the panel backstage. So I didn't get a chance to actually like meet and talk with them. But Ken, I did at the very end. Like, he was passing by me on the way to his trailer or something. I remember just walking past him briefly, and he did stop to say, like, wonderful job. It was such a pleasure meeting you. And that was so nice because he didn't have to do that. And he took the time to do that. And I thought, wow, he's really, really cool. And also, just like, when the cameras are rolling, he's hilarious and sweet and awesome. They would call cut. He was so comforting to the contestant, who didn't have a background in film. She was just an everyday person. So he was helping her, like, you're going to want to stand on this mark, and, oh, you should put your microphone like this. It'll pick it up better. Like, he was so good at, holding her hand through the process of, like, how to be on film and how to be on set and everything. And that was cool to watch.
What amazes me about that show is how you guys can just keep a straight face.
That was so hard.
No smiling. I mean, you sing your song and then you just stop there and you're just staring, like a blank stare. And I'm like, how are you guys doing that? I cannot sit here. I would smirk. I would smile. I would, laugh.
When Carol Baskin came on, I smirked a little bit on the inside, but I contained it as fast as I could. That was the hardest part. And I'm an actor too. So, like, I struggled with that. So I was wondering, some of those other singers don't have a background in acting, especially the ones that don't even sing. So I was like, how are they keeping the straight face? I'm struggling here. I don't know how the other people did it.
Oh, you did a great job, and I don't remember the outcome of the show. I don't remember if she picked the bad singer at the end, but to me that show's hilarious. Just, I always want. It's sad to say this, but I always want to see a bad singer at the end when they do their duet, just because it's more entertaining to me when you have, let's say Nick Lachey was singing and the person singing with Nick Lachey was a bad singer. To me, that's more entertaining. That's a lot funnier for me. I feel bad for the contestant who's trying to win $100,000, but it's entertaining, and I just sit here laughing when that happens.
Yeah, so I loved that too from watching past episodes. And for us, we had a dress rehearsal just to practice everything, and because they couldn't practice the duet with us because Candy couldn't know if we were good or bad yet. So for her dress rehearsal, she did it with a producer who like doesn't sing. And so he gets to, for the dress rehearsal, just sing as horribly as possible. And like, he always looks forward to it. And it's his favorite part of his job that he gets to step in as bad singer. And we all just were laughing, watching him backstage. It was really cool.
How was your audition for that? Did you have to audition for the show?
So my experience was very cool and very different because a producer knows a friend of mine who is a well-known singer, and so she has a good following, and he follows her, and she had posted a video of me once on her Instagram, and so he found me through that.
Wow.
And so they kind of found my page through her, which was really exciting. So thank you to her. And so they found my page and saw my videos and my website and reached out from there. But once they had reached out, I still had to send in a lot of auditions. It wasn't just a, we found your Instagram and come be on the show. Like I still had to, film myself singing a bunch of different styles to try to figure out, what songs I would sing on the show once I was on it, and just double checking that I still can sing to be on it. And also I had to film an audition tape of me lip syncing to my own voice. And that was wild. And I
That
thought it
was
was so
that
but I
was my
get
next
why. I
question.
get it now.
We have a message from Scott who's saying great interview, Danny.
Yes, thank you. That's my uncle.
Oh, Uncle Scott, thank you for
Very
jumping. Thank
cute.
you for watching. Thank you for supporting. To me, it's important that you have family that supports everything you do, whether it's singing and acting or whether it's both and something like that. That's definitely the most important thing, is that you have your family there telling you this is what, we're supporting you regardless. And big props to your mom for saying, I'm going to put you in a school and we're going to get your voice heard. Because some parents, they just don't, they don't, like, oh, they're just singing, no, she's going to grow out of it. But then she actually encouraged you, right, to get up there and start singing, right?
That's so true. That's something that I'm very, very grateful for, and I know to be, because I have a lot of friends in this industry whose parents sometimes, don't try to to keep that
Yeah.
going. They try to say, okay, that's a fun passion, but let's
Yeah.
get something a different career. So the fact that my parents are not only so supportive, but want me to succeed in this, and that they really do want me to go for my dream, and they've always, it's never been a question. I never had to tell them I want to major in musical theater. It was never, what do you want to do in college? It was just always known. Like, all right,
Nice.
so which musical theater schools are we going to look at? Like, it was just always very known that this was what I was going to do. There was never a discussion, never a I have to break the news to you kind of
Yeah.
thing. It was always, this is what is happening and it's awesome. And they were very supportive, and I've always just been chasing it.
Always
Mhm.
important. Always important. We got another family member. I'm just going by the last name who said,
Yes.
who, fabulous
Yes, love
interview.
you.
It's good. I mean,
Oh,
I love that. I love the family support. And there's a couple, interviews that I've done where the family was just bombarding the chat, and I love that because it just shows that you're doing something and you're making them proud. And for your family to be watching right now, supporting the interview and watching your show here, to me, that's a big success on your end, and they're proud of you. And who wouldn't be proud of you with what you're doing right now?
that's true. It's awesome. I'm very lucky. I have the best family ever. Really do.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Um, we were talking about I can see your voice. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Wow, I don't usually get brain I don't want to say brain fart, but I don't usually forget the questions. I did. The whole family thing just threw me off. But no, it was a really nice episode. And then when I reached out to you, and I told you this when we chatted a couple days ago, that I knew you were busy. So I said, okay, I'm going to give her time. And there's times where I reach out to people, and hold on, this just has to I guess the whole family is just watching right now. Another
Oh,
cousin, as always, you are great. Thank you for your family
yes.
come out. Is it
Yes.
Spiegel? Is it pronounced Spiegel?
Spiegel, yes. That's
Spiegel.
my mom's dad's side of the family.
Spiegel family, thank you for supporting
Yes.
Danny and watching the show right now. Definitely a cool experience for her. And again, it's important. It's important to have your family back there and to have your family there and support you with everything you do. Um, yeah, I mean, when I saw that and I reached out to you, I was like, okay, let's just see if she responds. Took you a while, and I knew, you were busy. I knew you were probably making the circuit. Um, are you getting noticed on the streets right now? Does people notice you? Hey, you're the waitress from that show, right?
No, I am not getting noticed on the streets. I don't know if I would. That's really funny though. Also, my hair was even a different color back then. Who knows?
When
That,
you told me you were working at the restaurant where it's the cleaning, you guys are actually, it's a musical restaurant or cafe. Is that what
Mhm.
in the TV episode Friends? I don't know if you've seen that episode of Friends where Monica's working like in a 60s or 70s or even maybe a 50s cafe where they're singing. Is it something like that?
Probably. I've seen a lot of Friends episodes, but I've never watched the whole series straight through, so I don't think I caught that one. I know I need to do that, I know.
No.
But probably, it's very like the diner feel, the very
Yeah, yeah.
friendly family style feel of it.
That's what they need to do. They need to do a Friends musical. I think that'll be something cool to do in New
They
York.
do. There is one.
Is there? Oh man, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So many things exist that are awesome.
I mean, in New York, there's just so many things. I mean, it's funny because I'm a big Marvel guy. I watch a lot of Marvel everything, and when they did the Hawkeye episode and they did Captain America the musical, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was an actual real thing in New York.
Yeah. That's so funny. They make musical parodies of everything these days.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't wait because I know you'll be there. I know you'll be on there, and we can't wait to see your journey, see where your journey takes you. And again, I want to thank you for just jumping on. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being here. Besides the next hustle, before we start wrapping this up, besides the next hustle, what's the big goal in life right now for you?
To be on Broadway and to play a role on Broadway too, to develop a character and that, I mean, that's just my dream. Just performing live,
Yeah.
In front of a lot of people is just the dream.
I can see, and what's funny with when you did the I Can See Your Voice, you were so comfortable just singing, and you sang a song that even Adrian said, "Oh God, this is a hard song to sing. That means she's a good singer." And the way you just blew it out, I was like, "This is a professional singer." It's like she's a professional singer, and I will see you on Broadway one day, and you'll definitely be there. I can see that happening, and I can't wait to go to New York and just say, you know what, when you make it on Broadway, let me know. I'll be out there to watch it. So
That is so sweet. That really means the world. So thank
no,
you.
I will. I will. I mean, I want to be saying, I'll wait for you to come out to San Francisco to, when you do your tour, but I want to be there when you first start. I want to be there. Might not be front row, but I'll be there, and I'll be there supporting Dani Apple.
That is the sweetest thing ever. No, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you again, everyone. Again, if you guys want to follow her, this is her website right here, daniapple.net. Her resume, I was reading your resume. It blows my mind that I'm seeing all this stuff. Like my resume doesn't even look nothing like this compared to what your resume is. And your theater, everything that you've done on here, just so cool. daniapple.net. Go ahead and follow her there. And then if you guys can watch the episode of I Can See Your Voice, you look it up on YouTube, just put Dani Apple, I Can See Your Voice. You'll hear her there. And yeah, it was really nice having you. Thank you for jumping on. Any last words before what do you want to tell everybody out there who is struggling, who is on the edge of, I want to sing, but I don't know if I want to sing?
You have to, I know it's a broken record, everyone says this, but you have to always try and you have to keep going because every no leads to another yes. And you just have to always try. And something that I've been living by lately, just me personally, is never say no to yourself. Plenty of other people will say no to you. So never, don't let an opportunity come because you think, oh, I'm not going to be good for that. I'll never get cast in that show. I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to go in. Don't decide that for yourself. Let that casting director say no. You go in. You decide for yourself that you can, that you are good enough, because for all you know, you never know. Maybe you won't, and maybe that'll be your big break. So
Wow.
Only let other people say no to you. Never say no to yourself.
Nice. And don't let that no be discouraging, because if one casting director says no, that doesn't mean the next one will say no either. So,
right. And it might mean that one will say yes later, another time.
Yeah. And the good thing about you is I love what you said when you said that comment you meant about hitting the pavement. Is you're hitting the pavement, you're getting your voice heard, you're getting people to know who you are, just so they know, well, you know what, Dani, you don't fit in this show that we're doing right now, but you'll fit in this other show that I have planned down the road. So, you're putting them in their heads. You're embedding your voice in their head so they know, down the road, I'm going to get Dani and we're going to do this. We're going to do the Glee musical together and we're going to get all that stuff together.
Yes, Glee musical. Bring it back.
Let's do it. Again, thank you guys for watching, and the family support that you have is awesome. I definitely love that. I'm going to give you a nice round of applause again for jumping on. Thank you for taking the time. Again, you guys can watch this on YouTube. I'm going to post this on YouTube. I'm also going to post this on the podcast channel. But if you guys are following Dani on Facebook, you guys just follow my link on Facebook. It's going to be on there as well. But the Facebook one's a little bit longer. I was on Facebook 15 minutes before you jumped on. So there's going to be, if you guys want to go straight to the Dani interview, just fast forward 15 minutes past 6 o'clock, then you'll get her on there. But Dani, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you for being on. Thank you for taking the time. Whenever
Thank you for
you
having
want.
me.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Thank you.
thank you. I'm so glad you reached out. This was awesome. So thank you. Thanks for
I'm
having
glad
me.
you said yes. I'm glad you said yes. So, and I'm glad you jumped on. And I tell everyone this, and I'm going to tell you this as well. If you ever want to jump back on the show, if you ever have another story you want to share, you made the big musical, you just want to plug it, definitely jump back. Let me know, and then we'll definitely get you back on. We'll definitely have you tell your story again.
Thank you. I would love to.
All right.
That sounds cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Dani Apple, everyone. Thank you, Dani. Have a great night in New York.
Thank you. You too. On the other side of the country.
On the other side. Yes. Yes. Don't stay up too late.
I won't.
Bye-bye. Thank
you. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for jumping on. That was Dani Apple. Again, if you guys want to follow her stuff, she is at daniapple.net right there. Thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for supporting me. Again, you guys can support the channel by buying stuff right there, the mug, the coffee that I've been drinking, the shirt that I have on, the daily vlogs podcast, the daily vlogs podcast.myspreadshop.com. I'm hungry. It is time to eat. But thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for watching. And that's it. This is going to be the last interview for a while. I do have interviews lined up, but it's not for the next month or so. I have been doing a bunch of different projects that I've been doing on the side. And when that all comes into fruition, you guys will know. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. The live stream podcast has ended. Go in peace.